Ahead of the show, they're joining us. They've been on tour around the country. Brian May, Kerry Ellis. Kerry Ellis, Brian May, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
How's it going?
Very well. Thank you. Yeah, great.
Great, we're loving it.
Yeah, it's been great responses, and it's a learning curve for all of us, because this is new. It is, and it's a great band, and I happen to have a great singer. So we're all right.
So how did the relationship come about?
We've met a long time ago when...
Because you've done a lot of West End stuff.
Yeah, and I auditioned for Brian for We Will Rock You. So that goes back 10 years now, I think. And we've kind of worked together ever since, really.
And We Will Rock You is coming back to Birmingham, to the Hippodrome, this summer for the big summer show.
Yeah, that's right.
And that has been that's been a sort of phenomenon on the stage, hasn't it?
It's amazing. I don't think any of us dreamed quite how far it would go, and of course that's where Kerry and I begin, because she did that role of Meat for the first 2 years in London before she went off to conquer the world in various other musicals.
The list of musicals, Kerry, that you've done,
there's a few,
are what so far?
Wow, Oliver, Les Mis, Miss Saigon, My Fair Lady, Wicked here and on Broadway, We Will Rock You, Chess. Now I'm on tour with Anthems, which is brilliant. Which is a real change for me.
Which is music from some of those shows.
Yeah, it is, and it's we've been talking about it a lot. It's quite liberating for me to be actually singing as myself on the tour instead of as a character in a musical. So this is great. I'm loving it.
And who decided on the tracks that were going to go on the album that you released?
Together,
yeah, we both did, really.
So a lot of them came from me seeing Kerry doing things, so they correspond to parts of her history. But in every case, it was inspirational to try and get them to take them to a new place, and they're very much customised. So, for instance, Defying Gravity is totally different from what you would see in the Wicked musical if you go and see it. I mean, both versions are great, I think, but this is very rock and roll. It's very hard-edged, and basically, I designed the arrangements around Kerry's voice and unusual capabilities. So, I think we've carved out a very new place in kind of rock fusion with musical theatre, which sounds a little odd. I wouldn't have dreamed I would be in this place years ago, but I love it now. I really love it, and it's inspiring for us that a lot of the original authors, songwriters, have endorsed what we do. Like Don Black has, he wrote a bit of extra stuff for Kerry. Stephen Schwartz, who wrote all of Wicked, loves what we're doing. He says it's very inspiring to him.
Benny and Bjorn.
And Benny and Bjorn from those ABBA guys, who are geniuses, as one of their tracks. Oh, yes, in fact, two in a sense, Benny and Tim Rice. So we've been interacting with all these people firsthand and creating a new genre, really.
Yeah.
I think it feels very good.
Because as well as Kerry's voice, it has the distinctive Brian May feel as well with the guitar.
It has a certain amount of guitar, yeah. It's quite a lot of guitar. And we have some pretty heavy drummers on there as well, including Rufus, who's on tour with us, Rufus Taylor, who's amazing. One of the hardest hitters I've ever known in my life.
So there's going to be more albums of this type?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, it's like Brian said, this is a new way for us, and that's very apparent with the crowds that are coming to see the show. They're very versatile audiences. There's Queen fans, there's musical fans, there's families. There's really something for everyone, and I think that's what's nice and unique about the tour. Yeah.
Well, when you were growing up, Kerry, were you a Queen fan? Were you? Because you're still pretty young, aren't you? Were they?
Oh, bless you! Thank you very much.
Well, it's 40 years. 40 years effectively since Queen got going.
So they tell me.
Yeah. Who isn't though? I mean, Queen is in everybody's life. Whether they're aware of it or not. Who doesn't know Champions and Rock You, and so it's to be able to sing, because we do a couple of Queen songs on the tour. To be able to sing those songs is, especially with Brian, is brilliant. It's amazing.
Yeah. And obviously you've got the Queen fans coming, but you've got musical fans coming. But Queen was sort of very theatrical anyway as a group, so there was lots of theatre there. So in a way, it's sort of almost like a natural progression.
It is a natural progression for me. Yeah, I think the seeds were there always. Yeah, I always loved drama and light and shade and passion. And that's what rock is. That's kind of the root of rock music, really. And Kerry has it in her voice. It's amazing. She can belt. She can be incredibly hard-edged, but she can be incredibly tender as well. So we use the whole range of emotion. And for me, that's what I need. I need a singer who can interpret songs and make them emotionally kill you.
Yeah,
that's what you get.
You need to do a tour on top of fantastic buildings like Buckingham Palace.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm not going there again. It was amazing, but I will watch with interest the next guy who goes up there.
God save the Queen on top of Buckingham Palace. That has to be... Nobody will ever do that again, I don't think, will they, Brian?
I would be interested to see if they do. It was an amazing exercise in facing fear, I have to tell you, really. Not because I would have fallen off, but because I would have probably thrown myself off if I'd messed it up. So, in front of 1 billion people live.
Yeah.
Character building, that's what it was.
For the Golden Jubilee, which was, it will be 10 years ago last year, won't it?
Yeah, amazing, yeah.
The first musical, Kerry, that you did was what?
My Fair Lady.
And how did you... is that what you always wanted to do, to get into musical theatre, or be a singer? Or
I think it was a natural progression for me. I did always want to sing and perform, and I went to a theatre college, and it was just, you leave college knowing that you want to sing or what you want to do, but you don't quite know how to get there. So I auditioned for various musicals. I went off and did various small tours, but that was the first big show that I did, and then literally I went show to show.
Yeah. Is there a musical that you haven't yet done that you want to do?
Well, this is kind of taking me in a new direction at the moment, and because I've obviously done musicals for 10 years and they've been amazing and I've had an amazing time, I'm kind of ready for that next step to try something else and follow the music, and this is so exciting for me to do, and we'll see what happens. I'd love to do more albums and maybe another show in the future, because it is in my blood and it's what I do. So yeah, it's a bit of everything, really.
Well, the album has done well, hasn't it?
Yeah, very pleased with how it's done. It can go further. There's more singles on it. As I'm itching for people to really find out what is on that album, because there's a lot of, it's a very deep album.
Yeah.
And it's an organically created album. It's not just slung together. It is definitely all kind of rooted together. So I'm hoping that it gets a lot more exposure.
But the music industry has changed over the last since Queen started. 74 was the sort of big breakthrough album.
Yeah.
Sheer Heart Attack, was it?
Yeah, because that was the Killer Queen one. That was the breakthrough in this country. It was different in different countries. Japan was really the first country to take us to heart, strangely enough, and I suppose then this country, then the States, and then the rest of the world, at various points. So we always had some place to go. If we weren't trendy over here, we could go over here and play our music there. It's very good to be world-based, I think.
Yeah, you've had huge success, but you still have passions about all sorts of different things.
Totally, yes.
In life, if you go to Brian May's website, everybody, and you have a sort of a soapbox type thing, don't you?
I do indeed. I've had it for many years.
Yes, animal circuses are the latest thing that you can read about, which are dying out, aren't they?
Well, not fast enough, I would say, and I think that's an abuse of animals. No wild animal should be caged up and trundled around the country and forced to do tricks which are unnatural to it. So I supported this campaign. Unfortunately, they were very close to banning animals in circuses forever, but the Prime Minister apparently intervened himself and blocked it. So this is a petition. I'm actually supporting The Independent, a newspaper. It's unusual for me, but I'm supporting their petition, which is to try and change that, to try and get animals banned from circuses once and for all. It's not that many animals, to be honest, but it's another step towards treating animals decently. I think we are such a world apart from treating animals decently, and and I'm involved in, as you've probably seen on the website, campaigning against fox hunting and against the killing of badgers in the name of controlling farming diseases. This country is not in a very good place with regard to animals at the moment. It needs to change.
Yeah, we're supposed to be an animal-loving nation. But
you would think so.
Yeah, you would.
God, if you lift the tarpaulin and look underneath, we treat animals appallingly.
Yeah.
In farming, in animal experimentation, domestic animals, everything, and this appalling kind of hunting for so-called sport. Right, to me, it's only sport if the animal's got a gun as well,
You got any pets, Kerry?
I have.
What have you got?
I've got 2 dogs.
Okay. And what happens when you're away on tour? And performing quite a bit, presumably.
Oh, I know. They're looked after. So, but I'm a huge animal lover.
Yeah.
Massive.
And this tour, taking this album and this kind of production, as you mentioned, a big band you've got, and playing at Symphony Hall tonight, must make it a bit special, having recorded the album first, now playing to a live audience.
It's amazing, and we did obviously start the tour at the Albert Hall, so we did have the joy of
Not a bad start.
No, of the orchestra
Jumping
in doing it all live, because that was the difficulty with the album, because we did have a big orchestra on it and we had a band, and so it was quite hard to recreate that live. But we're finding our way on tour with just the band, and it's incredible. The sound that they can make is just brilliant, and it's really heavy, but it really has light and shade. It really is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Symphony Hall is going to be a great venue for that music tonight.
It's a beautiful place, yes. We shall hopefully blow its roof off in a nice, in a good way.
Brian May and Kerry Ellis on the Anthems tour. The album is still out there. Symphony Hall tonight.
Absolutely.
And you've got a support band as well, who we're going to hear from a bit later on, who are making some great blues music. Doing big things.
Yeah, Vintage Trouble.
Yeah.
And they've been doing great on the tour. Fantastic. The singer is an old friend, strangely enough, who's in We Were Rock You many years ago.
Ty Taylor.
Ty, yeah. He was in Las Vegas as our Brit, and fabulous, fantastic singer he is.
We'll hear from him later on. Listen, a pleasure to see you. Thanks for dropping in ahead of the show tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
BBC WM.